Hello. It is 3:30 on a Friday afternoon in the middle of what we're now officially calling, for 3 days only, summer. We finally got summer in the UK. It's expected to end, I think, about lunchtime tomorrow, which is good. I enjoyed it. I say I enjoyed it. I was actually in bed with a cold for the first 2 days. I'm not exactly 100% now, but we're going to give it a go. Anyway, it is 3:30 in the UK, 4:30 in Europe. People are starting to take holiday. It's 7:30 on the west coast of America, but it should be 11:30 on the east coast. So we hope to get someone on there. Hopefully we should be good to start. If you're on at the moment, you get a chance to say that you can hear me or anything else, that's great. If you put a comment in, that'd be lovely. It is just starting, as I said, at the moment, just coming in. 3:30. We have a 15-second delay. So if anyone's on, you got a 15-second delay, then we're all good. Right. Let me have my slurp of tea, and then we will see as it goes through. Rob's on. Perfect. Here we go. Right. So, trains on time, busy work, and critical events. What's he talking about here? Well, once again, James is mostly talking about being organized and having a plan and telling you some of the, I was thinking about this earlier. I generally tell you things you already know. That's normally the thing. If everybody tells you things you already know, it's just about working out how you got that information in this time. So what are we going to talk about? Trains on time, busy work. It's about what are the tasks we do. It's about trying to get organized. So before we start, I should say a little bit about Guido Scientific. We're 3 years old now. We have 4 senior members now, and I think there's about 9 of us in total. So we're still going, lots of work, a few key clients that work each year and a few other ones that come up and down, a few training courses around with that as well. So we're helping mainly companies, either advanced companies or companies who are doing startup, understanding how they launch a business, launch a product, strengthen their sales teams, or accelerate. A lot of our clients are looking at selling or moving to an IPO, so we work with them. So anyway, that's a little bit about Guido. You can contact us anytime you want. But get into the meat of this now. The first thing is, everyone says they're busy. Everyone feels they're busy. And what I find is that everybody is busy is probably just sat at the giant checkout of life. They're sat there at a till in a supermarket, and they're basically going, beep, and they're dealing with things as they go along. So an email comes in, they handle the email, they move on. A phone call comes in, they handle the phone call and move on. Customer asks them a question, they handle the question and they move on. And you may say to yourself, well, James, I have to do this. And it's absolutely right, you probably do. You probably do. And you will feel amazingly comfortable. And it feels incredibly rewarding to have nothing in your inbox and to have dealt with everything that you have to deal with. And we're all good citizens. Problem is, nothing happens. And this is exactly the sort of situation is if we're dealing with it. And by the way, you will feel tremendous stress. You sit there and go, oh God, I've got all this stuff to do. And actually you work out, all the stuff you have to do pretty much runs out tomorrow afternoon. And then you will find you're in crisis or other problems to deal with. So what happens is we end up in the situation where we just serve. We're just doing what was asked of us constantly. And that seems slightly wrong. And we just become massively inefficient. We have these waves of efficiency and inefficiency. And we exist with this. I'm really good in the morning. I'm not so good about 4 o'clock. I become a bit bad. I like to talk to people in the afternoons and do stuff in the morning. We have patterns. But when you're serving and you're sat at the checkout and you're basically tasks, then that is going to be your problem. Most people do this. And because of this, we never move on. And we sort of say, well, are you driving the bus? Well, there's a bit of a problem here. And I always say, it's like, oh, well, I'm not driving the bus. And people would say, well, I'm not a manager, James. I'm not a leader. I'm not a demigod. I just do stuff. It's my job. I'm not in charge of everything else. And it's like, well, you are in charge because you're in charge of your life. You are driving the bus. The bus is your life. You can choose. And not only that, you're given tremendous freedom to do things. You can choose where you put your attention. You can choose how you organize yourself. You can choose how you chop stuff up in your tasks. You can choose what you're interested in or involved in. You can ask, well, can I join that meeting? Because I'm actually interested in the future. I'd like to ... And I say here, you are not if you're micromanaged. I got a thing about micromanaged. I reckon half the people are micromanaged are actually being done so because they're a threat to the other people in the business. Of course, we want to be set free to achieve our outcomes and our goals. Well, sometimes people just aren't the right people for the job, and you still have to keep them, and you have to manage them to get what you can out of them. So I don't agree with micromanaging. I agree with people taking responsibility, but you have a line. So who's driving the bus? Are you sitting on the bus and people are taking you to the destination? You're going to arrive there and go, why didn't I ever have a Ferrari? Or are you going to drive the bus yourself? So next up, and I want us to think about this because we have to get through the problem. The other problem is, are you Sisyphus? Are you eternally working to move a boulder and getting nowhere? Have you been tricked by the gods as a punishment? Now, not many of you have, only Sisyphus was. And if you remember his story, he had to keep pushing a boulder up to the top of the hill. And just as he got to the top, it fell down again. He had to start again. This was for eternity. And it was just pointless. He was just busy. He was exactly where we were. He was just going through and going, oh my God, I'm so busy. And let me tell you, if you are Sisyphus, if you get to the end of the week and you go, oh my God, I've been so busy. What did you do? Oh, I don't know. It's the same as a best man speech, by the way. If you ever get to a best man speech and you give one, people will turn around and go, oh, that was brilliant. And you go, what did I say? They have no idea. They just enjoyed it. In the same way, you just go, oh my God, that was really, really busy. Wasn't that busy? What changed? Nothing. Did loads of stuff. What changed? Nothing. So many people have ideas. And I like this. I was listening to this morning about Jimmy Carr, and it reminded me. There was Jimmy Carr said, people confuse talent, and they think there's a lie about talent because you don't have talent and effort. And one of the things he was talking about was he said, well, ideas are like table salt. And I like this. We can all have ideas, but they need implementing and doing. So we get stuck in change because we have all of these ideas, and we get a little bit like the sort of conservative government was before they left. I'm a natural voting conservative, so my apologies for anyone who isn't. Didn't like them at the end. But they had a tendency of turning around and saying, we're doing this, and then celebrating the high five moment as if they'd done it. And companies do that. They say, we're going to have a plan. We've got a plan. And then you just don't do the plan. You high five, you celebrate it as if you've had the success. You haven't done it yet. Implementation is the problem. So we've got to move out of this bit of just sitting at the checkout. We've got to drive the bus, and we've got to make sure that we're actually not just being Sisyphus and moving stuff around for the sake of it. Now, the very first start of understanding what you're doing and getting people organized and efficient is just working out what types of work you're doing. And for me, there are 3 types of work. The first type of work is trains on time. And I have a lot of young staff that work with me and have worked with me in the past, and they always get very confused. Well, what do you want me to drop? I can't do this and that. It's like, well, that's off. You've got different types of tasks. So let's start with different types of tasks. Trains on time simply means things that need to get done. They drive limited additional value. They just need doing. So if you own a store, do you know what? The store, you need to open the door so customers can walk in, right? If you work in an office, I highly recommend that you wear trousers. If you wear trousers, you will not make any more money. It's just trains on time. It just needs doing, right? So doing your expenses is trains on time. Then you've got busy work, and a lot of us obsess about busy work. And I like a bit of busy work. Let's email 10 people. I don't know, I'll do a bit of busy work. And these are things that could be done. They normally be nice add-ons or small jobs, and they're the ones to control. They're the danger ones. And then you get to the bit which are initiatives and programs, and these are things that make everything better. They change the needle and they lead to big outcomes. And most of the time you won't do them. Do you know why? Because busy work is so easy, and trains on time is so easy. And it's actually that mentally you will defend trains on time and busy work, and you will tell me over and over again that you don't have time for initiatives. When are we going to do this? I remember being there myself. When are we going to do this? You have to do this. When are we going to do this? And actually, I ended up working with a company called Roper, and Roper had every month we had to do a report which explained our initiatives. And the initiatives definition was things you are doing to grow your business beyond its current rate. You're not going to get there unless you do something different. You're constantly going to have to change things. If you're not, you're going to be a steady state businesses, and steady state businesses just go backwards. Steady state businesses are completely fine. They are family run for your lifestyle. You don't exist in these situations in most instances. You're running the business to grow the business, to keep it going, to do better. So every task on your to-do list, I want you to think about it, and I want you to say, is that trains on time, busy work, or an initiative or a program? because actually I don't really care for the busy work. I want to minimize my trains on time. But we should look at them a little bit more. Trains on time said it was things that need to get done, like open the door, answer the phone, look fine. And people will turn around me all the time. So I say, well, look, James, I had to do this. How can I possibly do this and this? Well, you'll cope. Trust me, you'll cope. You have to turn the lights on. You've got to boot your computer. There are no medals being given out on trains on time. We got to pack the booth for the show. We've got to do the metrics report. I need to do another email. I need to do my expenses. Yeah, you do. You do. Just minimize them. Just do them in the smallest amount you can do. Do them in the most inefficient, the most efficient time for you. Sometimes I love an early morning win. I have my son, we sit down, we do like 20 minutes of this book in the morning. Got to try and get 15 questions right in this book, trying to help him learn to read and stuff. And then he makes his bed and he goes to school. And I say to him, isn't that amazing? You're going to have a great day. You've already done 15 questions and you made your bed. Today's a winner already. So get him out the way very, very quickly. And here, there's a recommended book called Eat That Frog. Most people know it. But basically, get these jobs done and out the way. Super amazing danger with trains on time. And the danger of all of these is that you will confuse them. You will take something you think is trains on time, which is actually busy work. You will take things that are new initiatives or programs, which are effectively just changing trains on time. Trains on time has to be done. No one earns any money. No businesses change. They are just operational things within your life. Don't confuse them. The minute you confuse them is when you become hyper inefficient. Busy work. Busy work is all the stuff that people do and they have an excuse for. Nice little add-on, small jobs. Oh, could we have a form to do this? No, you do it 3 times a year, send an email. Can we track this? Okay, you can track that, but what are you not tracking? Because you only have limited time. So I want you to lose one for everything you had. We've got an opportunity to advertise here. Okay, is that part of our structure? I thought we made the decision on this. My latest idea is this. It's just one small thing, only takes 5 minutes. And let me tell you, the 5 minutes only takes 5 minutes. It just brings me absolute dread. And it is the heart of the inefficiency in the busy work system. People continuously say it only takes 5 minutes and then they work till 7 o'clock in the evening. And what I look at is lots of 5-minute nonsense and lots of inefficiency because people have introduced busy work and busy work is delightful. It's amazing. I mean, if you gave me my day, I just sweep the lawn outside, listening to podcasts. It'd be amazing. It's all busy work. I don't need to do it every hour. I could do it once a week. It's all fine. Don't make this stuff up. It needs calling out to yourself. That's just busy work. Don't do it. Enjoy the half an hour of not doing that, sitting down and reading a book, watching television, talking to a loved one, talking to an enemy. I don't know. Just don't do the busy work. You can have the other time for yourself. And you see these busy beavers going around. You've got all these people going, oh, he does a lot of stuff. Isn't all the effort? Look, all the effort he does. Well, I don't care. I'm looking for output. I'm looking for change. We're not in our current situation. We're either riding a high based on other people's change, or we're creating the change to make it even better in the future. But if you're just riding the high, good for you. It's not going to last very long. So again, I said I tell you the simple things. I tell you the easy things each time. Categorize your work. Is it busy work? Is it trains on time? Is it a program? And then call out the busy work. I think this is busy work. I don't think we should do this. What are we stopping so we can do your busy work? I'd rather do this instead of your busy work. What would you like me to do? And, minimize your train on time stuff. Do it at the right time. Find the appropriate time to get it out the way. Have little wins every day. That's all fine. You can do all of that. Now we get into the bits that you should be doing. The bits both in your personal life and in your business life. Do what you want in your personal life, but just as a side, if you wanted to lose weight like me, then I have to do this. And in this case, we have, initiatives and programs, things that change the needle, that make change, right? I know if I go to the gym a lot, I'll be better off, won't I? If I stop eating chocolate bars, I'll be better off. Now, if I do that in a busy work way, I'll not eat a chocolate bar on a Tuesday. If I do it in a program, I will go on a diet for 6 weeks and I will lose 5 kilograms. If I say I want to row across the Atlantic, now I've got an initiative. Now I need fundamental change that's going to take time to get there. And that's what we've got. We've got to think about it like that. So you're listening to things that this will lead to a new product. This will open a new market. This will lead to an impact here. This is connected to our big plan. This changes us. That's what we're listening for. And everything here, any initiative or program, you need management, you need constraints, you need sign off approval. Everything needs to come in if you're doing an initiative and a program. Everything needs to come in together here. So if I want to row across the Atlantic, I don't know, like 3 months, I should probably ask my wife. There's probably some approval here. I need some constraints. When you are fit enough. I can't do it now. I couldn't possibly row across the Atlantic now, right? I'm not going to row across the Atlantic as a heads up. But you would need to put something in place to do this. And I would need to find the time. When am I going to learn to row? I don't know how to row. I imagine it's both arms together. I have no idea. But you need to work out the time of when you're going to do these things. But these are the bits that you want to do more of. And these are 10 times harder than any busy work. 10 times harder than traveling on an airplane for a meeting, 10 times harder than getting up early and just visiting and doing a demo or whatever you want. These are the hard things that make the changes. And everyone can do this. You could be a sales rep who covers a territory and you just look after Boston. You can do this. You could be the head of a business. You can do this. You can be a marketing intern. You can do that. I don't care. There's nothing to stop you. But we should look a little bit about the differences between the two things. And I think you need to, again, name them. You have programs and you have initiatives. For me, my definition, have your own definitions. Knock yourself out. So for me, we have programs. So I would say these are typically 4 to 8 weeks, right? They tell a short-term story. They can be used to support an initiative, right? Small commitment. We have an end of year promotion to sell out these units program. We're going to do a webinar on X program, right? These are just little programs. We're going to set up a new facility to do this 4 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it can be, oh, we need to set up an office in Portugal. I'm doing this for a client at the moment, 4 to 8 weeks, right? All of this stuff, it's a program, right? Then you've got an initiative, and initiatives are ongoing, 3 to 24 months. They, and I apologize for my British rudeness, they cannot be farts. You cannot produce them and let them go and hope for the very, very best. This is not what initiatives are. You do not change them every day. You are doing them and you are committing to them, and that is your answer. Now, if you get them right, you make a career for yourself. It's awesome, brilliant. Right? You get them wrong, you leave. But that's the risk. They've got to be good enough for that risk. They need to be worthwhile to be bothered with. If they're not worthwhile, just don't do it. But they are your career bets. And not only are you betting on them, your boss is betting on them. The members of your team that keep their jobs are betting on them. The people, the nice people in the factory that turn up and do their shifts and want to pay for their gifts for the kids at Christmas, they're betting on you. Everyone is betting. So you better get it right. There is responsibility to an initiative. But you can only do 2 or 3 of these things at once. Very, very hard. Don't overcomplicate it. These are long-term. They are often supported by programs. So if I said I wanted to move into a different market or a different industry or a different way of doing things, say I want to sell to pharmaceutical. I've never sold to pharmaceutical before. I've just sold to research. Well, a program could be to do a webinar, and that supports my initiative to get $5 million in the pharmaceutical market next year. Whatever it needs to be, whatever the numbers need to be for your scale. Okay? These are the ways that we get places. Initiatives are the big ideas, programs are the smaller ones. Initiatives make your career, make your job, they're the CV items. Programs are things you just use to get there. So that's what I want to think about, programs and initiatives. These are the things that move the needle. So again, I tell you the obvious stuff. Do more proper work, people. Do more big thinking. That's good. You should generally just go for a walk and keep walking until you're thinking. Find the people in your life that are soundboards. I'm back working with one of them, and it's great. It's really enjoyable. And if I'm going to tell you this, you're going to go, well, okay, how and when am I going to do this, James? I am busy as I possibly can do. And the answer to this busyness problem is people say, oh, I can't do that. You go, okay, you're going on vacation. Yeah, you can. Well, you can go on vacation. If you were ill today, would you not? If someone, really sadly passed away, you'd go to their funeral today, wouldn't you? You would. If you were sick today, you'd spend the day in bed. So we have an inbuilt ability to cope. When we are given permission or we have a life-changing event to change our work, we manage to cope and we recover. Right? We have a holiday, we do bits and pieces, we get on with it. And that's it. You got to bend. You can get there by driving efficiencies. If I do my expenses, right, and I was to do my expenses on a Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd be done at 9 o'clock. If I did them on a Tuesday afternoon, I would probably take between 2 and 4. And if I did them on a Friday afternoon, it'd probably take me between 12 and 5:30. I'm just inefficient at these times. I'm better at talking to people, right? So the first thing is just get efficient about stuff and cut out trains on time. The other stuff is you have to get your initiatives built into your calendar. You have to say, when is the time am I going to do this? How am I going to get around doing this? And then you've got to chop up your initiatives. Like, how do you eat an elephant a bite at a time, right? There's the whole thing. You need to chop them up. And what we need to chop them up into is critical events. Critical event, and many things in here have been stolen from our previous conversations with people. That's how life works. Critical events comes from a guy called Eddie Val, who wrote The Strongman Process. And Eddie would have us write down every Friday, well, how many demos do you need to have by this place? And how many meetings do you need to have by this? And what does your pipeline need to look like this? But you can use this process all the way through. Every Friday night, by Friday night or Friday when I'm clocking off, I've got 5 things that help me drive my initiatives that I need to have done. And if I do them, I feel fantastic about it and the week worked. And if I didn't, the week sucked and I got it wrong. I've had about a day and a half off this week. I've missed one. I've got to do it this weekend. The rest of them are done. I've booked my meetings I needed to in San Francisco coming up. I need to get a few more, but I've got the key ones. They're all in there. I did some work for a client on a particular project. I missed a proposal, slightly annoying. Other than that, I'm pretty good on them. But you must be able to complete these things to move forward because this is what you're doing. So take your initiatives, chop them up, think about the work and the tasks that you could do this week to get to it. Now, I use a planning tool. I made this planning tool because I have my own problems and my own organization. And how you organize yourself, I've always said, is completely on you. And you should never force an organization tactic on someone else. Someone like bits of card, paper, if someone wants to use To-Do, they want to use the CRM functions, absolutely. It, to me, represents everything about religion. You do what you want. Don't push it on other people. If you feel organized in one way, don't push it on other people. Don't get them to be organized. All I ask of people is that they organize and have a plan. This is the way I organize myself. I have an Excel sheet and I have 5 pages, 5 sheets, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I have these 2 columns with boxes in. On the one on the right-hand side is everything I'm going to do that week. And I just start there and I say, well, I write down my critical events. What events in this week will make my week be good? When I get to Friday, what will make me feel like I'm satisfied and make me not feel like the person going, oh God, it was so busy. I can't remember what did I do? What happened? It was just busy. I'm going to know what I did because I planned it. In exactly the same way, the box underneath this, I fill this with items. I've got a little section next to it to tick it off or put an X in it or whatever. These are my personal life critical events. I know they're not probably as large. Maybe I have go swimming 2 times, right? Maybe it's like, get school bag for child, right? It's the end of school term, got all these things to do. Fill out the report, sort out the mouse problem, right? We've got mice in the kitchen. I have to work this out at the moment, right? And then I've got a little space for thinking because I have little thoughts that pop up all the time, like big things I should be doing in the future. And then I have like another things list. I should email Dave. I'll put it there, do it later on. It's not important. Then on the left-hand side, and by the way, the right-hand side never changes. It just copies from the previous day. So when I go to Tuesday, I can see which critical events I've already ticked off. My thinking's still there and so on. On the left-hand side, I put in meetings or calls. And this is my commitment I've already had made. Like, well, what time have I already given up today? And I'm not doing any more than 5 meetings in a day. I'm sorry, I saw COVID create this block. I look at my wife's calendar, I look at all these colors and all these blocks out of people just, oh, they're free, book them. No, I'm going to have 5 decent meetings a day tops, right? And then I've got this bit, which is my initiatives and programs. So these are the bits here. You see there's a little block in there at the moment. They're the things that help me knock off the critical events. So they're the really important things I have to do every day. I don't have to do everything every day. I need to do those things every day. Then I've got trains on time stuff I've just got to do, stuff that's just annoying. I've got to do my expenses today. I have to be in today, right? It goes in there. Then I have my personal life stuff. Go swimming. Order another mouse trap. And then I allow myself busy work because I love a bit of busy work. I allow myself email Dave, talk about this, send in the form, do that. I have 15 in that list. I love that, and I get that done first thing in the morning. And just like my book with my son, where I'm teaching him to read and asking him questions, I get my 15 out of 15 every morning. I feel good. Then I can go on and move and work on the critical events because they're the important bits. So the left-hand side is my day, and the right-hand side is my week. That's all I do. I have to do it. Now, you might do your list in a different way. You knock yourself out. But the biggest thing is we have to have 5 critical events that are going to move those initiatives along. And if we don't, we're going to do busy work. And we're going to confuse busy work with trains on time. And we're going to confuse initiatives with trains on time. And nothing's going to change. And we're going to be busy. And we're not going to drive the bus. We're not going to get the promotion. We're not going to earn more money. We're not going to do what we want. And some of us, that's absolutely fine. Knock yourselves out. Do your life. But the rest of us who are on a mission to get to a point, right, so that we can do things like retire, so we can do the things that we're looking at and go. I looked at the people. I go to this club and I took my son swimming last night. And I don't play tennis, but there are all these. I really want to be an old person playing tennis with these people in the sunshine at like 6:30 on a Thursday night, hitting the ball badly but enjoying myself. I kind of aspire to that, and that's where you have to drive to. You have to drive to where you want to go. So look. All of this thought and all of this organization comes out of my experiences and talking to many, many different people. And we use it a lot. We use it in programs. We have them in the program. We put it deep into the part of the programs for business development and for new marketing people when we train those. And it is hypercritical for salespeople when we're doing strongman training or sales disc training. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there. And I used to do this with sales reps and go, let's go through your calendar for last month. Show me the meetings you've got and tell me how they're going to get you to target. And what the answer is, they probably weren't, and there was business coming in. And again, you're trying to get this 20 or 30% of new art people all the time. That's what you're trying to get, the extra layers on top. So these are all in here in the programs. And at the moment, we've got the advert for the book. Go read the book. Follow the post on LinkedIn. I'm trying to be as amusing as possible in my own little dry way on LinkedIn at the moment. We have one more webinar planned before we get into the next series of this, and this is planning, conducting voice of customer interviews. So this is for product managers, anyone in marketing, some sales leaders and bits and pieces like that. What are you going to do to interview your customers over why you don't win, and other people's customers as well? How you should design your new product. What are the actual features? Taking all the bits and pieces out of it. That's going to be a good webinar with Scott on the 26th. That moved a little bit, and I will be adding some new ones shortly. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for today. I have, as I said to everyone, I've had a cold. I've been in bed for 2 days. I am running on sugar at the moment, so I shall be shortly stopping and crashing. But we got done half an hour. I should have done more, but trust me, the way I feel at the moment, I'm drinking my cup of tea and I'm going to be good to go. Oh, my Teledyne mug. Don't want that. Right, good mugs. Not great company. Anyway. Anyone else if you've got any questions, feel free to ask now. If you want my planner, send me a DM, as the kids call it. All the people in their 30s and early 40s. Other than that, I think we're getting to the end. We'll give it a few seconds. But for everyone else, I'm going to say goodbye. I have to cut and edit this. So I'm going to say goodbye from now. You can find the rest of these on YouTube. So thank you very much. I shall wait here for any questions. If there aren't any, I will take it as a Friday. And thank you very much for those who've attended and asked the questions so far. I'll answer this later on. Okay. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Really appreciate it. I will catch up with you on the next one. Thank you. Bye now.